Imagine driving a car, staring at the rearview mirror the whole time. How far would you get? Not far. Yet that's how many of us live, constantly looking back at what we've lost, mistakes we've made, or the opportunities we think we've missed. But let me tell you this, nothing is behind you. Your past has nothing new to say. Everything you've been searching for, success, love, growth, is all ahead of you. You didn't show up here today to dwell on yesterday. You came here because you know there's more to life, more to you, and more to your future than the weight of what's behind. And by the time you walk out of here, you'll have the tools and the mindset to cut those chains and run toward the life you deserve. The power of forward momentum is the secret to living a life of purpose, progress, and fulfillment. Too often, we become prisoners of our past, replaying the same old mistakes, regrets, and what is in our minds. It's as if we're trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces, hoping that by looking back long enough, we'll find the answers we need to move forward. But here's the truth, you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror, and you can't build the life you want by clinging to what's behind you. Momentum isn't just movement, it's intentional progress. It's about recognizing that the energy you expend on the past is energy you're stealing from your future. Think about it. Every moment spent fixating on what could have been is a moment you could have used to take one step closer to what could still be. Forward momentum about ignoring the past. It's about learning from it without letting it define you. It's about using yesterday's lessons to fuel tomorrow's victories. But why is momentum so powerful? Because it creates a chain reaction. When you take even the smallest step forward, you shift your focus from what's wrong to what's possible. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. The beauty of momentum is that it doesn't demand perfection, it only asks for progress. One decision, one action, one step is all it takes to ignite a spark that can light your way forward. The challenge most people face is fear. We're afraid to let go of the past because it's familiar. Even if it's painful, it's a pain we know. The future, on the other hand, is uncertain, and uncertainty can feel overwhelming. But here's the thing, growth doesn't live in comfort. It thrives in the space between where you are and where you want to be. Momentum bridges that gap, giving you the confidence to step into the unknown. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out at a beautiful valley. You're carrying a heavy backpack filled with everything you've been through, every failure, every heartbreak, every missed opportunity. That weight keeps you rooted in place, but what if you set it down? What if you freed yourself from the burden of what's behind you? Without that weight, you could leap, fly, and explore the life waiting for you on the other side. Forward momentum gives you that freedom. That's the ultimate antidote to stagnation and regret. It's a reminder that no matter how many times you've fallen, you can still rise. No matter how far behind you feel, the road ahead is always longer and filled with endless possibilities. So what does it take to harness this power? A decision, a single resolute choice to stop looking back and start looking forward. Momentum is something that happens to you. It's something you create. It's the daily commitment to take a step, even a small one, in the direction of your dreams. Because nothing is behind you. Everything you want is waiting for you to move toward it. Rewriting your inner narrative is one of the most transformative steps you can take toward living the life you truly desire. Every single person carries a story about themselves, a story shaped by experiences, beliefs, and the words of others. The problem is that too often, the story we tell ourselves is rooted in the past, filled with outdated chapters that no longer serve us. These stories become prisons, keeping us locked in cycles of self-doubt, regret, or fear. But here's the truth. What's behind you doesn't have to define what's ahead. The pen is in your hand, and you have the power to rewrite your narrative. Think about this. Every time you replay a negative moment in your head, something someone said, a mistake you made, or an opportunity you missed, you're reinforcing a script that tells you who you are based on who you were. But that's not your reality. That's a version of you that no longer exists. The person you are today has the potential to be completely different from the person you were yesterday, but only if you're willing to change the story you believe. The first step in rewriting your narrative is to recognize it for what it is, a collection of thoughts, not facts. Let's say you've been telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or I always mess things up. Where did those beliefs come from? Were they based on a single moment where things didn't go as planned? Or were they handed to you by someone who didn't see your true worth? Whatever their origin, they're not the truth, they're just words you repeated, so often they've started to feel real. When you rewrite your narrative, you're not denying your past, you're reframing it. Instead of seeing failures as proof that you're incapable, you can see them as evidence of your resilience. Instead of viewing setbacks as signs that you're unlucky, you can view them as stepping stones that taught you valuable lessons. The story you tell yourself shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your actions. When you change the story, you change everything. But rewriting your inner narrative isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Every day you have to choose what story you're going to believe. Will you cling to the old one that keeps you small, or will you write a new one that reflects your potential? This process requires intention and practice. It might mean journaling about the version of yourself you want to become, speaking affirmations that align with that version, or even seeking out people and experiences that reinforce your new story. The beauty of this process is that it's entirely within your control. No one else can write your story for you, and no one else can rewrite it either. That power belongs to you and you alone. So let go of the outdated chapters that no longer serve you. Pick up the pen and start writing a story that reflects the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Because nothing behind you defines you. The future is yours to create. The cost of holding on to the past is far greater than most people realize. It's not just the emotional weight of regret, guilt, or disappointment. It's the opportunities missed, the energy you drain, and the life you forfeit by refusing to let go. Imagine carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. At first, you might not notice the burden, but over time it slows you down, steals your strength, and makes every step forward harder than it needs to be. Holding on to the past is just like that. It's a quiet thief robbing you of your potential without you even realizing it. The real tragedy of clinging to what's behind you is how much it keeps you from seeing what's ahead. When you fixate on past mistakes, opportunities, or painful experiences, you give them power over your present. You replay conversations, analyze decisions, and wonder endlessly about what might have been different. All the while, the present moment, the only place where you can make change happen, slips through your fingers. But why do we hold on so tightly to things that hurt us or weigh us down? It's often because the past feels familiar. Even when it's painful, it's known territory. We convince ourselves that by holding on, we're keeping ourselves safe from making the same mistakes, from facing the uncertainty of the future, or from letting go of what we once valued. Yet, in reality, clinging to the past is the very thing that keeps us stuck, afraid, and unable to move forward. The cost isn't just emotional, it's practical. Holding on drains your mental bandwidth and your energy. Think about all the time you spent dwelling on something you can't change. That time could have been used to build something new, to invest in relationships that bring you joy, or to pursue a dream you've put on hold. Every moment you spend looking backward is a moment you lose forever. And those moments add up. The longer you hold on, the more of your life slips away. What's more, the past doesn't grow or evolve, it stays exactly as it was. You, on the other hand, have the capacity to grow, learn, and create something entirely new. But that can only happen if you're willing to free yourself from the grip of what's behind you. Letting go isn't about forgetting, it's about releasing. It's about acknowledging that what happened shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. The cost of holding on is steep, but the reward for letting go is priceless. When you release the past, you reclaim your energy, your focus, and your freedom. You open yourself up to new possibilities, new connections, and a future that's not limited by what came before. Letting go isn't easy, but it's worth it. Because nothing that's behind you can ever compare to the life that's waiting for you when you finally set yourself free. Growth lives in the unknown, and yet so many people resist stepping into it because it's unfamiliar and unpredictable. The comfort of the known is enticing. It's where we feel safe, even when we know it's not the place where our dreams will come true. The problem is, growth doesn't live in comfort. It thrives in the space between where you are now and where you want to go, and that space is often filled with uncertainty. But rather than fearing it, we need to embrace it. The unknown is the birthplace of transformation. And the moment you step into it with courage, everything in your life begins to shift. When you stay in what's comfortable, you remain within the boundaries of what you already know. It's like staying in a room with walls so familiar, you forget the world exists outside of it. The walls are your habits, your routines, and your assumptions about what is possible. But the more you stay within those walls, the more you limit your potential. The world outside the room, the unknown, is where innovation happens, where new ideas are born, and where you can evolve into a version of yourself you've only dreamed of. Think about the times when you've taken risks in the past, when you ventured into unknown territory. It might have been a new job, a new relationship, or even a new mindset. What you likely discovered was that the unknown wasn't as scary as it seemed. In fact, it often turned out to be exactly what you needed to grow. Whether you succeeded or failed, you gained knowledge, resilience, and experienced things you would never have acquired if you had stayed safe within the boundaries of what you already knew. Growth isn't a linear process. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. The unknown is unpredictable, and that's precisely why it's so powerful. When you push beyond the limits of what you know, you expose yourself to new possibilities and new challenges. These challenges force you to think differently, to adapt, and to rise to meet them. Without the unknown, there is no change, no progress, no expansion. Every leap you take into unfamiliar territory opens the door to new opportunities and gives you the tools to navigate your future with greater wisdom and strength. The unknown can feel intimidating because it doesn't come with a roadmap. It's easy to want to cling to certainty, but in doing so, you miss out on the possibility of something far greater than you ever imagined. The secret is to change your perspective. See the unknown as a realm of possibility instead of a place of fear. The unknown doesn't have to be scary. It's simply where you get to write the next chapter of your life. It's the space where your growth happens and where you can begin to live the life you've always wanted. Embracing the unknown means stepping out of your comfort zone and trusting that no matter what happens, you will be okay. And the more you embrace it, the more you'll find that the unknown is the greatest catalyst for your personal transformation. Growth lies there, waiting for you to step into it. Choice is power, and yet so many of us underestimate how much control we truly have over our own lives. We often find ourselves feeling like victims of circumstance, believing that life just happens to us, rather than realizing that we are the ones shaping our reality every single day. The decisions you make right now are the building blocks of your future. The way you choose to respond to challenges, the goals you choose to pursue, and the mindset you choose to adopt all have an immense impact on where you'll end up. The most empowering truth you can embrace is that no matter what your past holds, you always have the power to choose your future. Every moment is filled with choices, but many of us let them slip out without recognizing their significance. We often operate on autopilot, following routines and habits that were formed long ago. We react to situations based on past conditioning instead of making conscious decisions that serve our present and future selves. The reality is that we always have a choice, whether it's how we respond to adversity, how we treat ourselves, or what actions we take toward our dreams. It's easy to get stuck in the illusion that we're powerless or that we're just at the mercy of life's circumstances. But the truth that every choice is an opportunity to shape our path. The power of choice means that you can decide right now to stop living the past. You can choose to let go of regret and stop allowing old mistakes to define who you are today. The past has no power over you unless you allow it to. And just as you can choose to release old baggage, you can choose to start creating a future that excites you. When you realize that you hold the reins to your life, you stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. The future is not something that simply arrives, it's something you create with every decision you make today. The beauty of choice is that it doesn't require permission or validation from anyone else. You don't need anyone's approval to decide to start a new chapter, take a bold step toward your goals, or to adopt a mindset that supports your success. You are the creator of your life, and you have the authority to rewrite your story at any moment. Whether it's choosing to let go of limiting beliefs or deciding to take a leap of faith toward a new opportunity, your choice is behind you far more than any circumstance or obstacle ever could. One of the most powerful choices you can make is to believe in your own potential. So often we make decisions based on fear of doubt, fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. But fear is not a fact, it's just a feeling. And you have the power to choose which feelings you give weight to. When you choose to believe in your abilities, you unlock a reservoir of strength and creativity that was always there waiting to be tapped into. By choosing confidence over fear, action over hesitation, and growth over stagnation, you step into a version of yourself that you may have never thought possible. No matter where you are today, you can choose to change the course of your life with a single decision. Every choice you make leads you closer to the life you desire or further away from it. It's that simple. So the question is, what are you choosing right now? The future is yours to create, and it starts with the decisions you make today. You hold the power to shape the life you want. Your choices are not just a reflection of your past. They're a declaration of who you are becoming. And that's the most empowering truth of all. Energy flows where attention goes, and this simple truth is a game changer when it comes to achieving your goals, creating change, and living a fulfilling life. So many people focus on the obstacles, the problems, and the things that are going wrong, and as a result, they end up attracting more of those very things. Our minds are powerful, and whatever we focus on expands. If we spend all our time worrying about what don't want to reach and past failures, we are essentially feeding our energy into creating more of the same. The key to unlocking success and joy in life is to redirect your attention to what you want, not what you fear. The power of focus cannot be overstated. Think about your own life. When you set your attention on a particular goal or vision, don't you feel a sense of excitement and momentum? It's like a spark that ignites your passion and propels you forward. But when you dwell on the negative or keep your mind on things you can't control, you feel stuck, drained, and discouraged. The direction in which you direct your thoughts determines not just your mindset, but the results you get. If you're constantly focusing on your limitations or your past mistakes, those thoughts will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you choose to focus on solutions, growth, and the possibilities ahead, you begin to shift your energy to your dreams. This principle applies to every area of your life. If you focus on your health and taking care of your body and on making better choices, you will naturally feel more energized and motivated to keep going. If you focus on your relationships, nurturing them, showing up with love, and prioritizing connection, you'll find that your relationships thrive and deepen. The same goes for your career, your personal growth, and your goals. When you give attention to the things that bring you joy and fulfillment, those areas of your life will flourish. The more you invest in what you want, the more energy you'll have to keep moving toward it. On the flip side, when you focus on problems or situations that are beyond your control, you give them power over your emotions and actions. The more you ruminate on what's wrong, the more you'll attract what you don't want. This is where awareness becomes crucial. You have to become aware of where your attention is going at all times and consciously redirect it when necessary. Instead of obsessing over things that frustrate you or hold you back, you can train your mind to see the opportunities and the lessons in every situation. The moment you shift your focus to what you can control, you take back your power. One of the most transformative things you can do is practice focusing on the positive, even in the face of challenges. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is fine when it's not, but it means choosing to focus on the possibilities and solutions rather than the problem. When you focus on what you want to create, rather than what you're trying to avoid, you shift your energy to a place of empowerment. You begin to attract more of the things you desire because you are actively putting your energy and attention toward them. The magic of this is that it doesn't take a monumental effort. A small shift in attention can yield incredible results. When you consistently direct your focus toward your goals, your dreams, and the things that light you up, you will find that everything else falls into place. You will find yourself moving with more confidence, clarity, and purpose. The future you're creating is the one that you focus on today, and the more you feed your energy into it, the more real it becomes. So focus on what you want, not what you fear, and watch your life transform.